This is Outside Shots, the top 5 college basketball betting nuggets you may have missed during NFL season, presented as always by thelines.com. Remember to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notifications whenever a new episode is released. Thelines.com is also giving away a $25 Amazon gift card in our daily pick'em contest. For more details, head over to play.thelines.com. And as always, you can join the Lines Discord channel to get notifications when we place bets on college basketball or any sport for that matter. So like I mentioned, we're going to go through the top 5 betting nuggets, notes that you may have missed during the NFL Super Bowl last month. Obviously, the Chiefs upsetting, quote unquote, the Philadelphia Eagles in the big game as 1.5 point underdogs. But tipping this thing off with the Houston Cougars at plus 700 to win the national championship. They are the favorite to win it all. But you look at this Cougars defense, and while Calvin Sampson's teams are normally known for that end of the floor, the Cougars have traditionally been one of the better defensive rebounding teams under Sampson and at creating second chance shots for that matter, which they still do at a very high and efficient rate. But this Houston defense over the last month ranks number 70 in college basketball in adjusted defensive efficiency. So while the Cougars' backcourt is healthy, unlike last season with Marcus Sasser, Jamal Shed, and Tremont Mark, I have my question marks about this Cougars defense being as elite as it's been in years past. So no value in the plus 700, and I certainly wouldn't consider backing them on a game-by-game basis in the dance. They do force a lot of turnovers, but again, that defensive figure, efficiency in conference play in a weaker conference like the American Athletic Conference is definitely concerning. Over to the Wooden Award, Zach Edey, Purdue center, is the favorite, the odds-on favorite, to win the Wooden Award at minus 1,400. That's the best price you can find out there at the legal sports books, and check out the best number for any sport and any betting market over at thelines.com. But Edey is minus 1,400 over at BetMGM Sportsbook. And Edey has been one of the most dominant players, not just at the center position across college basketball this season, really taking a monster step after sharing the front court, sharing that center spot with Travion Williams last year, and Travion Williams off to play professional basketball this year. My biggest issue with Purdue and Edey, even though Edey is very likely to win the Wooden Award, Jalen Wilson of Kansas and Trace Jackson Davis of Indiana behind him. Jalen Wilson at 10-1. Jackson Davis, we'll get to the Hoosiers later on, but Trace Jackson Davis at 30-1 to win this award. Purdue's backcourt is very young, and Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer have dealt with turnover issues when opponents force and deliver ball pressure, and really half court or full court ball pressure. So while Edey is one of the best players in the country and has really improved his efficiency down low as a passer, not just as a scorer, and his hands are truly one of the better hands among bigs in the country, but Purdue's backcourt gives me a little bit of concern and pause when we think about the big dance. The third nugget that you might have missed during the NFL season, especially during the NFL playoffs, Alabama at 9-1, right behind Houston in the national title odds futures market. Again, check out the best odds at thelines.com. The Tide are ranked number 1 in the latest AP Top 25 poll. But my biggest question, similar to Purdue, is how far can this Crimson Tide, this young Crimson Tide team, go in the dance despite the talent? This is the most talented team that Nate Oates has had in his tenure in Tuscaloosa. And Brandon Miller is at the forefront of that elite recruiting class coming into the season. 6'9" Brandon Miller with one of the best, if not the best, freshman season in the last 20 years when it comes to shooting efficiency and volume for that matter. Miller shooting 42.7% from deep this season and taking just about over 7 threes a game. But again, the youngest team going back over the last decade in college basketball to win it all is the 2015-2016 Duke Blue Devils, which had Jahlil Okafor leading that Duke front court and Tyus Jones in the backcourt at the point guard spot. So I have my question marks about Alabama's youth being able to take them deep in the dance. The fourth nugget to keep in mind, and this one's gone a bit under the radar because the TCU Horned Frogs, which are priced at 40-1 over at Caesars Sportsbook to win it all, have lost 4 of their last 5 games. But for many of those games, they've been without one of the most prolific scorers in the country in Mike Miles Jr. and their center, Edey Lampkin. Now, Lampkin ranks 11th in college basketball in offensive rebounding rate and is also a very good defensive big. This TCU team ranks number 20 on KenPom and a bunch of other college basketball metric websites in adjusted defensive efficiency. So while the Horned Frogs have struggled, and while Miles' health, that knee is a bit of a concern heading into March, especially from a minute standpoint, I do think this TCU team has the talent to go on a run. I'm not going to bet TCU at this number because 3-point efficiency and scoring efficiency from behind the arc is a concern for the Horned Frogs. But as it comes to the betting market on a game-by-game basis, TCU could be undervalued, especially because of this losing streak. Might be a time to buy if you haven't bet any college basketball national title futures at this point. On that note, you might have missed it for my 5th and final college basketball nugget during the NFL season. My 5 college basketball bets to win it all, or 4 actually, not 5. This is the top 5, but my 4 college basketball bets are Texas at 30-1 out of the Big 12, just like TCU. Indiana from the Big 10, I bet that last week. Check out the breakdown at thelines.com. Hoosiers got them at 50-1. UConn got back the day after Thanksgiving at 50-1 as well. Florida going back to the day Scotty Scheffler actually won the Masters. Would not recommend betting Florida at this point, but bet them at 120-1 before Colin Castleton came back. The team I'm most intrigued by are the Indiana Hoosiers. And you think about how well Trace Jackson Davis has played of late, averaging 25 points per game, 13.9 boards a game, 3.0 blocks per game over his last 8. And Indiana just won on the road at Michigan. That was a must-win game for the Michigan Wolverines. And keep in mind, Indiana was without Race Thompson at the center spot, and they've been without Xavier Johnson, who's arguably the best point guard in the Big Ten over the last month plus. Xavier Johnson coming back to Indiana's backcourt is huge because of some of their turnover issues that we saw in that Michigan comeback win, a 1-point win over the Wolverines, but also because it'll allow Jalen Hood-Schifino to play off ball, which gives Indiana more offensive efficiency. It should at least. And it also gives them 2 reliable ball handlers in the backcourt and shot makers, lead guards in the backcourt, which, as we know, is huge come the big dance. But I think Trace Jackson Davis has a Kemba Walker-like run in him in March. You couple that with how well Indiana is playing at both ends of the floor while winning 8 of their 9 last games, and the Hoosiers are very intriguing as a team to go on a run in the big dance. For more outside shots, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Remember to ring the bell and give the video a thumbs up, and head over to play.thelines.com for more contests in our daily college hoops pick'em contests as the season rolls along. And also subscribe to The Lines on Apple Podcasts for more college basketball betting content. So long, everybody.